Ladies and gentlemen, oh my god. Okay, we've been making videos non-stop for the last, like, 24 hours. I've been going on and on. No, actually 48 hours, 36, give or take. I don't even know my own math now. But either way, guys, welcome back to a brand new video, guys. What do we have today? Well, basically, as you all know, the brand new Pokemon, the weird new little creature, was revealed and is now actually out, and it's just available. It's on the internet. You can catch it in Pokemon Go. I've caught it on Pokemon Go, actually. I'll see if I can actually find it on my phone right now. I'll go onto Pokemon Go and see if I can actually catch another one. But I've caught it, and there are people suggesting here ideas, little theories and stuff, and I thought we'd take a look at these theories. For example, something here from Mama Shuckle, from Let's Go Rod Rocket, Joe Merrick, of course, you know, his, like, little ideas and thoughts on this stuff. Also, I found a seal. Very nice. So, just gonna catch this real quick. But either way, so, what is the point of this video? Well, basically, we're gonna look at all these theories, see what the whole deal is, and also kind of just summarize everything into a single bubble right now. Because there's so much stuff that's been going on. Even freaking Eurogamer now has done an article on this. It's insane, man. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, it's just crazy. Like, let's see. In Pokemon Let's Go, and just, the Pokemon Company just tweeted. It's just like, yeah, you're tweeting, but, like, we're really curious as to what's going on here. If you could give us a little bit of an explanation, that'd be nice. So, people are still trying to argue that this is supposed to be a placeholder, which, I'm sorry, but, like, it's impossible for this to be a placeholder at this point. Like, it's impossible. Also, why is, okay, okay, Fandom Sailor, I don't know why you would be retweeting that, but okay. So, here's the thing, right? I've caught these. I found these in-game now. They're actually available. You can find this little, like, Ditto Nut in the game. It's not a placeholder, because otherwise they would have removed it straight away. Now, people have been arguing, Slow Speedrun has been arguing that, oh, maybe it's just, like, you know, maybe it's just one of those things where it's a placeholder and they decide to keep it in the game. No, you don't keep a placeholder in the game and have it as some sort of feature or something, or a thing that's there as an event, if it's not going to be a thing that's going to be used in the future, because then you're literally, that's creating a bigger PR issue than you accidentally leaking it, or if this whole thing was pre-planned, which we don't know yet. So, let's see. The increased spawns right after Community Day in Europe, considering the same happened with Japan, is quite curious. Yeah, so it makes it seem as if this could be a planned thing that they plan to do, a brand new Pokemon, which means that this is not a fake Pokemon. This is not a placeholder. It's a real thing. It's in the game, and if, as he says here, the way that the Community Days end, and this happened to me, right? As soon as the Community Day ended, all the Chikorritas I was catching just disappeared, and I was starting to catch, like, these weird little creatures, and it was just like, what? Like, what's going on here? It's so confusing. And he tweeted here, and it's gone. And then he says, would it count as an in-game event in Go for the event section? Intentional or not? It's certainly an interesting thing. True that. Not denying that fact. Serbi also, you know, on the Serbi Twitter here, you can actually see as well, there's been just so much stuff going on, like, you know, going about this stuff, you know, what's been going on here, kind of discussing all of it. First was the information from yesterday, then also if you go up here, you'll see, due to an error on Niantic's part, the new Pokemon accidentally leaked into the network traffic, replaced all Pokemon at the end of Community Day in Japan. And you can see right there it is, in Japan, it was like literally took over everything. Serbino, Niantic's head of marketing in Japan has started tweeting about this Pokemon, indicating it's a tease rather than a mistake. And I'm not sure if he's actually put this on Twitter right now, but I really hope he has. Let's see if we can find that real quick. I'm just going to find the actual post, because I remember we covered this in my last video. Niantic, head of marketing. Here he is. So the head of marketing is this guy. Oops, no, that's the wrong one. Niantic head of, let's see, head of marketing, and then I think it's just, we search that up and we'll find his Twitter, because I know that like we covered him earlier today. Here we go. Nope, that's not the right one either. Still trying to find it. I'm just not sure where it is. It's a Japanese fellow. It's a Japanese fellow. I remember, like, specifically, you know, I remember specifically he had all that info. But actually, if we go to my notifications, maybe we'll find it faster there. So let's go on my notifications and I'll see if I can find it here, because I know one of you guys tweeted it to me. So I'll find it through that, because if it's been tweeting more stuff, then I'm really curious as to what he's been tweeting beyond what we already saw. I really want to know what else is there. And I think we'll find it. And then right here, somebody actually tweeted regular shiny. So this actual drawing is awesome. I love it. And then somebody, why rip, man? Niantic's head of marketing. There we go. Thank you. There we go. Okay, here he is, Kento Suga. Let's see what he says on Twitter right now. Has there been any other tweets from him? This was on September 7th. But why? What does this even mean? Like, he's just question marking, and then it's like, what does this actually say? I want to kind of translate that. Let's just search up, let's see. Let's go, Google Translate. And boom, it's going to detect language. And it just says Pokemon Go. Okay, nothing crazy. I don't know. I mean, we already saw this tweet in my last video. We already talked about this. He's acknowledged it. Okay, he's acknowledged it. So the question is, what is this thing? What connection does it have? What's the point of it? What's the deal with this thing, right? Like, I don't know. But there is a person who might have an idea, and that's Let's Go Red Rocket. And what he said here was, and if this Pokemon is kind of like the Zygarde Cell, Punish-chan, which I don't know what he means by that, and doesn't count as a Pokemon, in fact, and yes, is a part of as a part of such a 808, that would explain the teaser. So what he's trying to say here is that this thing could be similar to the Zygarde Cell. This could be a part of a legendary, which means that it isn't an actual legendary in itself. It's just a part of it. It's like a Zygarde Cell, but it's like a different thing, right? And currently, it only turns into holy shit, it makes sense, right? Currently, it only turns into Ditto. Now, why is this interesting? Well, next year, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution is coming out. As you guys may have heard, the next movie is going to be Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which I have already covered on my channel. I've already talked about this. And here you go. Right here. Let's see, Pokemon the movie Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution releases in 2019. So, in 2019 is also when we're getting the next Pokemon game. What they usually always do is, the game that's coming out tends to always have a Pokemon that's connected to the upcoming movie and that sort of stuff. So, if the game that we're getting now, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, is going to have these little, like, Zygarde Cell-esque Pokemon, because they're similar in design when you think about it. Look, like, the Zygarde Cell, when you look at it like this, it's a pretty measly-looking Pokemon. It's cute, right? The same thing with, like, this one. It's cute, but it doesn't have much to it, you know what I mean? You could have argued this looks like any other Pokemon as well. Like, you could have argued that, like, oh, look at the body, like, at the middle right there. That looks like, you know, the thingy that you have on, the thing that's on, freaking, what's it called again? Like, Tyranitar's, Larvitar's freaking, body. Like, oh, it could be something like that. Like, whatever. Like, you can make that point. And you look at this, right? It has that connection. It looks very similar. So, let's read about the movie here, okay? Though the Pokemon series will always be a video game franchise, first and foremost, the anime is arguably the second most important pillar, following the adventures of Ash Ketchum and his ill-fated quest to try winning a Pokemon League. The first movie based on the anime was Pokemon the First Movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, and just about every year since has been the release of another movie. Today, this year's Pokemon movie, the movie Everyone's Story, saw its debut in Japan, and at the end of it, a teaser was included for next year's movie. Masahiko Ishimura, the original voice of Mewtwo, is heard saying, "Who am I? What am I?" Before a title card is shown for the first movie with Evolution tacked on to the corner. Perhaps this new film will delve deeper into Mewtwo's Mega Evolution forms. Only time will tell. What do you think? Which Pokemon movie is your favorite? Do you still watch these? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. And, you know, I guess people were sharing their thoughts. And I do kind of think this is interesting because, think about it. Next year's movie is coming out. This Pokemon right here turns into Ditto. Now, what's interesting about Ditto? Well, there's this theory that Ditto is a failed Mew clone. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but if we go on right here, you'll actually see it. So, is Ditto a failed Mew clone? Well, go in here. So, this theory got some attention on the internet a few years back, but I haven't found a definitive source on it. But if Ditto and Mew are genderless Pokemon, which, you know, is fair enough, with similar color scheme for both their normal and shiny sprites, which is true, look at that, they look very similar. The Ditto normal sprites are somewhat more purple than the Mew sprites, but earlier generation Ditto sprites were a bit pinker, and the shiny sprites are almost exactly the same. In addition, both Ditto and Mew weigh 8.8 lbs or 4 kilos. They both learn Transform naturally at level 0. There are a bunch of places where Ditto can be caught in the original Generation 1 games, but in yellow, the only two places are the Pokemon Mansion, where Mewtwo was cloned from Mew, and Cerulean Cave, where Mewtwo lives. Mewtwo is also called the only successful clone of Mew, so there's reason to believe that there's failed attempts, which could be Ditto. So, what are these things then? Well, I think this is a offshoot of those failed Dittos, but these ones could be slightly different in their molecular structure and how they actually ended up, you know, becoming something. They could be totally different as to normal Dittos, and hence their connection to the next year's movie. Because I think this is the same thing that we have with the cell right here. You know, the Zygarde Cell. I think this is also just a cell for a different Pokemon. Maybe not Mew, maybe not Mewtwo, but maybe Mew 3. Yeah, I just said it. I think I'll do a separate video on Mew 3 and why I think that could happen, because we were already talking about Mew 3 before this thing even came out. Like, before we even saw this, we were talking about Mew 3. Now, let's look at another little bit of a theory here. So listen to Mama Shuckle here. A Ditto Nut was created by Game Freak as a means to rejuvenate the Kanto Pokemon. In main games, it transforms into Pokemon that don't have a Mega or an Alolan form, and instead of copying the Pokemon, it permanently stays as the futuristic versions of it. Lore-wise, Ditto Nut is an altered Ditto made by Silphco and Team Rocket, as they used Ditto in the process of creating Mew and Mewtwo. Ditto could only copy Mew and was temporary. Ditto Nut was permanent and transformed into a better Mewtwo, okay? This is why Ditto Nut transformed into Ditto in Go. It has no Pokemon to face against, so when transformed is activated, it devolves into its initial state, Ditto. This will not happen in main series games, as it will either be gifted or have your Pokemon to copy/upgrade. The leak about this never-before-seen Pokemon is Go foreshadowing a new method of evolution was correct. Ditto Nut is is that Pokemon. Please read the whole thing to understand. I've read the whole thing. I think it's not a bad idea. I don't 100% agree with it. I thought it was an interesting theory just to share with you guys and see what you guys think about it, but personally, I'm not 100% on board for it being like 100% real. What I think is more likely is that it's just like an offshoot of Ditto that's going to be working in the same way as a Zygarde Cell. I think that's what's going to happen. It's just going to work the same way as a Zygarde Cell, and we're going to get ourselves like a new kind of Mew 3 maybe, when you collect enough of these Zygarde, you know, these ones for Zygarde Cells, or sorry, these ones in the form of, you know, similar way to the Zygarde Cells, and then you're going to be able to, like, you know, 100% it and have a Mew 3 or something like that. That's what I think. It could be a bad theory. I could definitely agree with that. It could be a really shitty theory, but I don't know, guys. What do you think about it? I do think his theory here that, like, the reason why they transform to Ditto in Pokemon Go is because they don't face anything, so they transform to their natural state, their initial state, but when they are in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they don't transform into anything because you receive them, you don't catch them, so they wouldn't copy/upgrade, or they would just remain the same way they are, and then you'd be able to do something like that. I don't know, it's an interesting theory, okay? It's all theories, but what I think is, I think it's the same thing as we had with the Zygarde Cell, hence why it could be a part of 808, but it isn't the 808 Pokemon. It's just a part of it, which means it doesn't take up a spot on specifically, like, you know, it doesn't take up many spots or whatever in terms of, like, Pokedex numbers and that sort of stuff. I think it just may be that similar thing. So what he says down here is, and it may be that Ditto and Kecleon is somehow a clue or a hint of its real form. So what I think that's interesting about it, that is that both Kecleon and Ditto have the ability to transform themselves. Kecleon is based on a freaking chameleon, which are supposed to blend in with their environment and, you know, just copy the environment, like the way they looks, and then turn into those colors to hide themselves. And what's Ditto? Well, Ditto transforms into other Pokemon as a defense mechanism and as a way to, you know, go into offense and defense as well. So I kind of get that, and I would love to know your thoughts, guys. What do you feel about this? Do you think this is likely? Do you think this could be like some offshoot of Ditto that's just a bunch of, like, similar to the cells of Zygarde that you're going to be able to collect, and then eventually once you've collected enough of them, you're going to be able to get yourself a brand new Pokemon that's just larger but has that similar theme going for it that you have right here? Because look at the similarities to them. They both only have one eye when in these states. They're both small and chubby. It literally looks like they're identical and meant to be the kind of similar thing here. So I'm really intrigued, guys. Seriously, I would love to know what you guys feel about this, because I am so excited. So seriously, guys, let me know in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts about this? And I just want to know what you guys have in mind. Either way, thank you so much for watching. My name's Ralph. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.